Yo, what up dudes and dudettes? If you couldn't guess by the title of this video, I'll be reviewing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now the version you're seeing on your screen is of course the PS4 version, but as far as I know, there aren't any notable differences except maybe in the graphics department of the other versions of the game. So I'll be doing an IGN style review where I take a look at the three modes: the campaign, Exo Survival, and the one that most people care about, the multiplayer. So without further ado, let's begin with the story. Advanced Warfare opens up in the year 2054 with players assuming the role of Private Jack Mitchell. In the future, warfare has changed drastically, and this is mostly due to the new exosuits that have been introduced. Right off the bat, your eyes will be able to enjoy some very crisp visuals, particularly in the facial animations. These are some of the best I've seen all year, and this game really does look like a next-gen experience, despite it also being on the older ports. In previous Call of Duties, I have enjoyed the stories, but in some of them, I really failed to care for the other characters. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Modern Warfare 3. Advanced Warfare was okay in that regard. While I do care about the main protagonist, the villain, yeah, he was okay. Just to me, at least. Kevin Spacey did a great job voicing Jonathan Irons, but in the end, his character to me wasn't all that impressive. The emotional impact in this game falls somewhat flat as well, especially in the ending. No spoilers, but yeah, there's gonna be a sequel, most likely. What do you expect? Where the single player does truly shine, though, is in the mission variety. I don't feel like it's limited to just shooting everyone in sight moving forward. There are missions where you need to be stealthy, the missions where you need to control some cool vehicles, and I love this about this game. Especially the stealthy missions. You get like this backcloth thing, and you can sneak in the shadows and shoot people over and take them out, and it's really awesome. You kind of feel like a badass, and it doesn't need explosions to feel that way. The levels do feel more sandboxy, which helps players truly utilize the exosuits to their full potential. And of course, like I said, you do have the traditional over-the-top action you come to expect from the single-player campaign, but overall, it was pretty enjoyable, and I had a great time with it. There are intels you can collect for more story, and as well as the infamous veteran mode for achievement and trophy junkies, but me, myself, I'm not too interested in that, but there's the option, the game gives it to you. Moving on, we have Exo Survival. Now, I haven't played it too much, but I can definitely sense the appeal of this game mode. Personally, for me, though, I'm not too interested in this Horde mode. It plays very similar to the survival mode in Modern Warfare 3, except I found Advanced Warfare to be a lot harder. The enemies have exosuits as well, so holding down areas is pretty difficult, and you'll be shot from multiple angles. And you might be overwhelmed at times. And this is a recurring theme in the multiplayer, which I will touch on in just a little bit. You play on all the multiplayer maps in this mode, so if you're hesitant to jump in the multiplayer because in fear of ruining your KD through trial and error of learning the maps, this is an excellent way to get an early feeling for the maps. And you can play with friends as well, up to 4 other players, and I highly recommend this. Honestly, playing alone would be an absolute bore in this mode, so to fully receive the best experience, get the most bang for your buck, a friend tagging along should always be welcome. And of course, it supports local play, so even if you don't have access to the internet, you could still play with your brother, sister, friend, uncle, mother, I don't know. Just, you can play with anybody. Playing with anybody is way better than just playing alone, and please trust me on that. But overall, I found this mode to be a welcoming addition. It's not too much of a welcoming addition because it's already been done before, but the new exosuits should make it a little bit more interesting and a lot more challenging, definitely. And they are adding a zombies exo survival mode, so for those of you that are big fans of zombies like I am, you'll be able to experience that. And I think they have exosuits too, don't quote me on that, but I don't know how I feel about that. That'd be pretty crazy, but yeah, that is definitely coming in later DLC, and I might do an impression video on that, but that'll come at a later date. So now for the moment you're all waiting for, the multiplayer. So I'm sure you're all dying to know how this game turned out. Did Sledgehammer Games live up to the standards this behemoth franchise has set before? Yes, yes it did. Though, there were a few issues, some bigger than others. So let's start with the good. Let's be optimistic. The movement. Oh man, the movement is excellent. This is the most control I have felt with my character in any Call of Duty, and the new exo movements make traversing the map quick and easy. The amount of customization is great too, and a Pick 13 create a class system similar to Black Ops 2 adds to the customization. A new category known as the Exo ability gives players a way to pick a way to play. So, do you want to choose the cloak and be stealthy and stick to the shadows and play very conservative, or use the overclock ability and get to objectives faster, play a run and gun style play? The sounds on the battlefield are better than ever, with the callouts and the subtle sounds of exosuits creating a more immersive experience. Honestly, the game doesn't feel like a Call of Duty, but this change isn't a negative to me. Honestly, this is probably one of the best things about Call of Duty this year. So year after year, the same traditional style of Call of Duty has been released, so the change, to me, was necessary. Sadly, though, this is Call of Duty, so there are some problems that need to be addressed. First of all, with the addition of the new movement, the maps feel way too small. People can get around so much faster, and there's a learning curve with the movement, believe me. This game felt very difficult at first, and it still feels kind of difficult, especially if you haven't been on it in a while. Each kill is more difficult to achieve, and I feel it's easier to die, at least to me. Rank play is back, but due to the fact that public matches are skill-based matchmaking, it always feels like rank play, and I don't understand why they did this. Hopefully there's going to be a future patch to this, because I don't feel like you should have rank play being its separate thing if it always feels like it. Score streaks are back from Black Ops 2, but they're perhaps the biggest disappointment of the year so far. Call of Duty, not all games, of course. I mean, wow, that would be a really big disappointment. I mean, it's not as bad as Destiny, but anyway, moving on. That's for another day. Oh man, the score streaks. The Warbird, don't even get me started on that thing. The score streaks are very poor. The support streaks, like the UAV, and the annoying, I hate to admit it, but the good system hack is really good. Those are the only ones I would recommend, to be honest, but yeah, the score streaks are pretty bad. So although this game has a good amount of flaws, I gotta admit it's a damn good game. If you're a Call of Duty junkie, this one will be right up your alley, I swear. If you wanted a reason to return to the series, I'd at least rent this one to see if it's good for you, because I don't know if you missed out on Ghosts, or if you missed out on Black Ops 2 and you're like, I just want to give it another chance. I don't know if this will be the game that will bring you back, to be honest. I mean, it takes forever to level up, at least to me it does, and there's 15 prestiges, so if you want to hit the max level, you're going to be playing a lot of hours of this game. If you just don't have time for that, or you really don't care about Advanced Warfare, I recommend skipping out this year and waiting for Treyarch to release their next game if you're into their games. But yeah, this is not a reason to come back. Especially at the beginning of the release of this game, there were a lot of issues with connection that plagued it. And I feel like that was a huge blow to this game. And I actually have a pretty strong opinion on games this year where they've just been disappointing, especially in their launch quality. So, yeah, overall this was a pretty damn good game. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So, if you enjoyed this review, smack that subscribe button. I'll be sure to keep providing enjoyable content. See you later.